Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, or whenever you're watching this live. This live is being uh, streamed on 3 different platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Wherever you are, please do drop in your comments. I will get back to you after the stream has been completed. Because this is one woman show, I won't be able to interact with you during the show. It's my main contact is to speak to the expert who is coming on as guest. Thank you very much for joining. Steve will be joining us soon. He's just gone to get his cup of tea. So I will give you introduction of Steve and also tell you a little bit about him, which is I knew Steve for quite a long time, but I only met him. It happens, isn't it? You meet them somewhere and then you get connected and you never do see them or speak to them. So Steve sent me an invite to his masterclass, LinkedIn masterclass, which was free, by the way. I knew a little bit about LinkedIn because I've been on LinkedIn since 2005, 2004, end of 2004, 2005. So what made it even more interesting is I've been using it quite regularly up until 2010, 2011. I mean, even 2012, I think I was using it regularly. 13 and 14, I almost gave up because it became like a social media platform. Everyone seemed to be using social as a social media platform, which I was not very keen on because I've never been on. It's only in 2014 I joined Facebook, to be frank with. Being a tech, it's a little bit off, isn't it? So when I went to his masterclass, it was very refreshing to see a person, another peer individual who is an expert in LinkedIn, training people on how to use LinkedIn effectively. To have the same perspective, I thought, okay, I'm not a lunatic in thinking that people are not supposed to be using this as a social media platform rather than professional network. So that was one thing, which was tech. And the second one was the tips and tricks which Steve gave me was very effective. My profile was not done right, even though I change profile every other day. And also how to make it more searchable, because that is what it's all about. It's SEO, right? So it was very refreshing. So I thought, okay, I've got to get him on this expert interview series. It is planned as this one would be the first one, but however, Rachel beat that and did a bonus interview yesterday. So I am going to give an intro and bring Steve on as soon as he's waiting patiently backgrounds. So this is an intro. Steve is obsessed with the power of LinkedIn to target specific segments and individuals. His mission is to train as many individuals as possible to make most of their free membership for prospecting, retaining, and increasing customer lifetime value through relationships. Steve loads that most business users access LinkedIn from a social media perspective. That's one thing I load as well, Steve, and therefore lose the business development opportunities. That is 100% true. If one view LinkedIn as a dynamic database of contacts with potential leads that are free in the cloud, then they're all well on track to achieve the growth through meaningful and strategic relationships. Steve has been active on LinkedIn since 2004, joined the club He has specifically developed his knowledge and expertise on the platform from the past 5 years and been teaching others to follow and learn methodology to get desired results. Steve has achieved measurable success using Miller Heyman's strategic selling and large account management in global manufacturers, mostly telecom. I think Nokia, I don't know how to pronounce that. Steve, you've got to tell me. Motorola and Leonardo. Steve utilizes LinkedIn daily as a tool to improve business development and marketing. Tips and tricks, which he's sharing today, are tried and tested strategies, not here today and gone tomorrow, as long as LinkedIn is not changing them fundamentally. I'll bring Steve on. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Hi, Sudha. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good,
You've
good.
got your green tea.
I have my green tea. Yes,
Brilliant.
I was all geared up to be the first of 2020, but Rachel beat me to it yesterday. But that's
Yes,
absolutely
you
fine.
did. You did.
It was a good interview.
I thought
So
okay, that's okay, fine. So tell us a little bit about what is what's that you're passionate about apart from
because I'm on
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, yeah, because I'm on LinkedIn every day, it kind of pains me, if you like, a lot of the time to see that people are on the platform but not really using it to its best
Yes.
effect. Everybody knows that LinkedIn was designed to be a CV place way back in 2003 when the company was founded.
Yeah.
But there's much, much more to it these days. And it is a fantastic place to recruit people or to let people know that you are available for jobs, but it's so much, much more than that. And I completely understand LinkedIn make it very, very easy for you to set up an account.
Yeah.
You just have to fill in a few details and put some information up there, and then you have a LinkedIn account. But nothing's really going to happen on LinkedIn unless you are engaged and active on the platform, like other social platforms or digital platforms.
Yes. So that tell us a little bit. One of the reason I wanted you on the show is your masterclass was full of the 2.5 hours. It's full jam packed with tips, strategies, and you also gave us few giveaways. And I thought, okay, let's bring him on, and he is going to give that away to other people as well. So tell us a little bit about how did you end up becoming LinkedIn trainer, and what, because you're passionate about LinkedIn, and that's true. But out with, what is your why? Why did you become a LinkedIn trainer?
As you said in the intro, I'm on a mission to train as many people as possible. It's not difficult. It's not difficult to learn if you have the right coach, if you have the right trainer. I don't know why a lot of the time people are quite confused about LinkedIn. It really started just over a year ago now. I made the decision to help as many people I can on LinkedIn as possible. And I knew of a guy called Miles Duncan, who founded LinkedIn Success Systems probably about 12 years ago now.
Yeah.
And Miles and I got together. His methodology fitted exactly with what I wanted to do on LinkedIn. We can give you hints, tips, and tricks, but what we have and what Miles has developed over the last 12 years is a follow and learn methodology that doesn't just get you by for the short term. It gives you the foundation to continue to use LinkedIn to develop large amounts of businesses and get a much bigger network to help other people, essentially. So I joined Miles about a year and 3 months ago, and we spend our time now helping corporates as well as small businesses to use LinkedIn more effectively.
Yeah, you go into their organizations and you train them, aren't you?
We do, yes. We've
Yeah.
got, from August last year, we've got an option that covers just about every size of business. We were conscious that we were spending a lot of time on the corporates, but lots of smaller organizations need some help on LinkedIn too. So we have online training, we have workshops that we can do within corporates. We help businesses to understand why it's important for your profile to be congruent with your company branding, and we can provide training on company pages as well as Sales Navigator as well. So we've got a wide breadth of training options that's affordable to most people.
So this LinkedIn Success Systems or LinkedIn System Success is the online course, I take it.
LinkedIn Success Systems is the overarching company. Our online training is called LinkedIn Accelerator.
Okay.
So essentially, we take you through the same training as a corporate would be provided with in a workshop environment, but we allow you to do that online. So the four key modules, or the four main modules for the LinkedIn Accelerator, are the same as what we would teach corporate clients to use. One of the key things for us, and it's quite unique to LinkedIn Success Systems, is the module called Clarify Your Brand. As I said before, lots of people are on LinkedIn. They don't really know why, Sudha, to be honest. They were told perhaps when they changed roles or when they joined a new company or where they became self-employed, that LinkedIn would be a good business platform to be on. But if you don't know why you're on there, if you don't clarify your brand, if you can't identify who your target audience is, what your products and services are that you want to promote, what your level of expertise is, then again, you're not really being effective just by having a profile. So one of the key things for us is almost to say, switch off LinkedIn, spend some time on clarifying your brand, and we will take you through that process to make sure that when you fully understand that your brand does have clarity on the platform, you can then move forward to the next three modules, which include optimizing your profile. So a lot of the time we spend as an introduction helping people to optimize their profile, and then if they want to get involved in the program, we then take them a step backwards and say, you really need to clarify your brand before you can go forward.
Yeah, give us some tips on how they can clarify their brand online, like
okay, well, we've got a pretty tried and tested formula. We regularly issue this document.
Yeah,
Six quick fixes. A number of people will have been at our free orientation sessions and received these. Again, I'll often revisit people's profiles who have been on our orientation sessions and find that they haven't applied the 6 fixes. So, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But what we do is certainly clarifying your brand, for example, is part of the free handout. And we ask you to consider what are the key products and services that you offer? Are there ones that will be more successful on the platform than others? And we ask you to consider what geographical area you want to cover. You could be an international business, or you could be a UK based. We ask you to seriously take a look at who your target audience are. So who are they? What are their titles? What type of departments do they work in? What challenges do they face? Really, you're trying to identify through your LinkedIn presence what problems you can help to solve for people. We are all about making the client the hero, essentially. There's too many people use LinkedIn to tell you all about how wonderful they are. It's all about me, myself, and I. But really, what you're on the platform to do is to encourage people to engage with you because they feel you can help with some of their problems. So that's part of clarifying your brand. Why do clients enjoy working with you in your organization? What are clients typing into Google? That's a massive one in terms of...
Yeah, you've got to be for that, don't you?
If you're going to be found, you've got to have an understanding what key terms and phrases are people going to use to find you online. Call to actions. What kind of call to actions are you going to use? Some fundamental things that are kind of blinding flashes of the obvious once they're explained, but lots of people are still flying blind on LinkedIn. Do you have a plan? Is it simple? Is it crystal clear? Do you have clarity on what you're trying to do? So we help people to get that part of the process right before they start to do and implement some of the strategies. One of the key things that we talk about in the orientation sessions is your headline, for example. So on your profile, your headline is really, really important, one of the most important parts. If it doesn't contain keywords that, again, the search engines can find, there's a good chance that they're going to find your competitor before they find you. So that's really, really important. It's the Google juice. You've got 120 characters to play around with. Utilize all of those. And just as a little tip and a hack today, if you, first of all, and always do this, always put your profile on a Word document first so that you can cut and paste and then just slot straight into LinkedIn. Don't try and do LinkedIn profile updates on the fly. Always switch off your updates as well, or people will just get a continuous stream of notifications that you are, in fact, updating your profile. But what you want to do is, once you've compiled your headline, if you then use an iPad or an iPhone to edit your headline, you actually get an extra 80 characters. So you'll get 200 characters in your headline, and that will all help towards your SEO and your Google juice. And it's all in this document. So
in that document, you are going to give that away. You've got a PDF version which they can, once they connect with you, you can give them.
I am indeed.
Right, yeah.
Interestingly, and I thought I would just bring this point up. Often in your feed or people that you're connected with, LinkedIn notifies you of birthdays. Lots of people completely ignore that, whereas I will often give away something as a birthday gift. So sometimes you may, in the past, have received from me 6 quick fixes as a birthday gift. So I will say, happy birthday. Here's a free document or a free gift that might help you with your LinkedIn efforts.
I've got a story to share. You know that already because you've sent me that document as my birthday gift, and I ignored it completely, and then asked you for it again. I was so embarrassed when you said, "Oh, I've given it to you on your birthday." I was like, "Oh my God, what have you done?"
And I was about to say how effective it was.
I mean, I did look at it. But I didn't even bother to follow that. And then when I came to your masterclass and I asked for it, he said, I've sent it to you as your birthday gift. Oh my goodness, that's embarrassing.
Some people are reluctant to open files that are sent to them on Messenger through either LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever, because they feel that they might contain a virus. But if it's a trusted person that you know, that you're connected with on LinkedIn, it shouldn't really be a problem. So I encourage other people where there's perhaps something that they can give away free to connections to carry on the relationship, to show their level of expertise, then I would certainly encourage it. I don't think it's a bad thing to do. So
this is one of the pet peeve I have got with LinkedIn connection. Sometimes, recently, I am not going to say that person's name, but recently, you always say to people, right, when you do a connection message, be it more personal message instead of just box standard, which comes with LinkedIn. You do put in a personal message so that they connect with you.
Yeah.
And I connected with this person a couple of days ago, and immediately 2 hours later, not even 2 hours later, maybe an hour later, he sends me a message saying, oh, I've got this, you might be interested in so and so. Do you want me to send more information? I was literally put off. And I did tell him, I sent a message, please don't think this might look like unsolicited advice. But I like the way you approach. That's why I connected with you. But immediately you sending me the message without even knowing what I want and why I connected with you. You're sending me this message. It's not go and look at this LinkedIn learning modules on social selling. This is one of the things which why people don't want to connect with you, even though they view your profile and other things.
Yeah.
Be very careful on what you're selling as well, which you said quite a lot of time in that masterclass. Please don't send unsolicited sales messages immediately.
Yeah, that's really not how it works, Sudha, on LinkedIn. It's one of the myths of LinkedIn that you can sell on LinkedIn. And in our experience and in my experience, that's not the case. You're on LinkedIn to build relationships that may ultimately lead to sales if that's solving somebody's problem. And all too often, people send you immediately, as you've experienced, a sales pitch, essentially, which really doesn't work. I think what you've got to understand is that lots of people don't understand the protocol on LinkedIn. So when you do tend to sort of take offence that you've done a bit of background research and thought that this person's probably reasonable to connect with. That you can perhaps help, or they can perhaps help you at some point, but not right now. So I think until people understand what the actual protocol on LinkedIn is, and it's not like Facebook, and it's not like Instagram, and it's not like Twitter, you will always get people who will just send out arbitrary requests to try and sell you something, essentially. But we talk about in our courses, it's a very transitional relationship building exercise, if you like, in terms of, first of all, identifying who you want to be connected with, and then building that relationship. So the sales stuff will continue to put people off. And generally speaking, when that happens, I quickly just either disconnect from that person or unfollow them.
I didn't want to unfollow, or I wanted him to succeed. It felt
Right.
I do that sometimes as well. I wanted this person to succeed and learn the right protocol of how you can approach people. You cannot antagonize people before you
No,
want
good.
to get. I mean, both of us could use each other's expertise, but at that point I was like, no, I'm not interested. Please go and learn something about social selling and come back to me. It wasn't, I really felt sorry that he didn't know. If he had known, he would never do it. That's one thing I'm sure.
And you've made a very important point, that we are in an era of social selling. You know, that's how things are done these days. It's very, very different. And you mentioned some of the companies I worked for and the training that I had in sales prior to now. It was a very different world back then. You know, Miller Hyman's a very tried and tested methodology to make sales in a particular way. And I really don't think it's appropriate these days. I think the whole era of social selling means that you demonstrate your expertise, you understand how you can help somebody fix a problem of theirs, and then you provide that information to do that. LinkedIn account for that. Some people that are on the live session here today may not even understand that they can access their social selling index. I mean, that's how important LinkedIn feel it is, that they give you a measure of how you can check how well you're doing. So,
I will put in the comment the URL. It's free, isn't it? Which they can
your social
do.
selling index is 100% free. Yes.
Yeah.
So we offer a free course to help you improve your social selling index. But if you just want to find out what your social selling index is today, then it's simply linkedin.com/sales, SESALES/SSI. And your social selling index is only available to you as an individual. It's universal, but it's only available to the individuals. And that'll give you a measure of how well you're doing on LinkedIn based on the 4 categories that they've defined to help you along. You know,
so how do you this free course? You did give me access to this course as well. I have not done it. Just you're going to get me, don't you? So this course, you're going to give us the link so that they can come online and learn about this as well. Someone
Yes,
asked
so
me about this, and I totally forgot to give him the
no, that's
link as
cool.
well days
The
ago.
two things that we give away, because we want people to sort of have a better understanding of LinkedIn, is the Social Selling Index free online course, which you need to enroll for. And we also have the 6 quick fixes, 4 seconds above the fold, that a number of people will have, but we're happy to distribute that to anybody who feels that they will get some value from it. It's an electronic copy. We can download it. You can print it off, or you can read it online. But it will really get you. It does what it says on the tin. It's 6 quick fixes that will take your profile to a much higher level than it's at the moment. So the whole part of what the 6 quick fixes is, you only have 4 seconds or less when somebody views your profile above the fold, i.e. what they see when they land on your profile, for them to engage whether they think that you're somebody that they want to work with, or that you can help them with their problems. Just another wee tip, if you like, in terms of how people may have their profile accounts set up. If you haven't got your privacy settings to people also viewed no, and you have your profile set up for people also viewed yes, immediately somebody visits your profile on a laptop or a desktop, they will be distracted within the 4 seconds to look at somebody else on the right-hand column. Now, this may be somebody who seems much more attractive to them than you are. Present company excluded, of course, Sudha. And so immediately you've lost some of that 4 seconds by them looking at somebody else or being distracted to the right of the screen. So we suggest that you switch that to no. And another great reason for that is that it may list some of your competitors. Now, I did a wee article on LinkedIn on this the other day there, which kind of alluded to this, but didn't really tell you what it was. But the last thing you want to do is to advertise on behalf of your competition. So switch people also viewed to no.
That is one of the tips. That was one of the main takeaway, apart from the profile change, which you asked me to be. As I change it all the time, I get lost what I changed and what I didn't. This one was one of the best takeaway I used. I can vouch for it, because since I made that change, I had more views on my profile than I used to. It could be for totally different reasons. I'm not, but I am going to dedicate this to this particular tip of taking that off, because it was one of those things. I had my SSI dropped off because I've not been doing much on LinkedIn, and this year I had to pick it up and bring it back again. Just toggling this off on the settings, I got that many views up, which is mind-boggling in its own way. Just a small tweak and a hack. Those things you can only get from a person who is dedicated, or who's been trained, or who is training others.
Or who's obsessed.
That's what they do. Because
somebody who's obsessed with LinkedIn, yes.
Yeah, you did. You came on really forcefully. Go and change that one. Okay, yeah, we'll change it. Good. And then you were marketing about SSI and other index as well. Even though I've looked at it in the past, but I didn't look at it from the perspective you told us in that masterclass. And that PDF was really useful as well. I need to go and take that online course.
We found over the years that without an optimized profile, you will not be as effective as you could be on LinkedIn. And that optimized profile means your, some of the other settings that you've got set up. For example, people also viewed. But again, you need to have call to action is very important. That needs to be within your experience and in your summary or about section. It's very important that you have a value proposition in there too. and even email address and telephone number should be included there as well, and it all helps your SEO if you've got the right keywords and people can find you, as well as location.
Yeah. Another thing which you said to me was about the company page.
Yes.
You almost came to me on the second day of the masterclass and you said, you don't have your company page updated. Can you go and do it? I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, why did I not do that?
Yeah.
And I went and created the company page. Many, which what I didn't know, which you alluded to me, is that even though you work as a freelancer or self-employed, you can put that as a company page, which I was not aware of.
Yeah.
That you can create yourself as a personal brand instead of just having a profile.
You can, and you know, everybody, small or large these days, has access to marketing, you know, branding materials. You know, you can produce just about anything on Canva or some of these other software packages. So there's no reason why you can't have a professionally designed logo of your own. There's no reason why you can't then list on a company page exactly what your business does. And the great thing about the company pages is you get much more analytics from it in the background on LinkedIn. So you can tell the amount of visitors, you can tell what type of sector they're in, you can tell what type of role they have. So everything on LinkedIn can be measured if you know where to do it.
Yes.
So from a personal point of view, you have the social selling index. From a company pages point of view, there's a whole set of analytics there that you can use to see, are you getting results from LinkedIn? Are you being successful? Are the changes that you're making making a difference? Is the content that you're posting useful? And we do talk about other third-party analytics tools that you can use on LinkedIn as well. But as a start, on a free package, the analytics that LinkedIn provide are perfectly adequate. So it's all about measuring and how successful you're getting on LinkedIn, essentially.
Brilliant. I really love. Why is it echoing? Maybe.
Not sure.
it, it seems to be okay every now and then, but it's started echoing again. But anyway, thank you very much for coming on the show and sharing your tips and tricks. And also, I will take the links from you and put it on as a comment.
Yes, please.
For other people to go and download and take that free SSI course, which is Social Selling Index course, how to set up profile, right, so that you can measure them. And also his 6 tips or 4-second
six quick tips, 6 quick fixes, 4 seconds above the phone.
You know that better than I. So that's what we are going to give it away. And please go and speak to Steve, and he would be able to look at your profile. He might not be able to spend too much time on what it is, but at least someone looking it over and say, oh, you need to go and change this or that, makes a lot of difference than it is for other people. So thank you very much.
Sorry, if I could just quickly mention, Sudha, we have one of our students on the LinkedIn Accelerator is a lady who sells log cabins. So Sarah and I got to know each other through for networking, and we chatted a bit about LinkedIn, and she'd been on it for a long time because she'd been an employee of various companies in the past. She was now self-employed. I finally convinced her to do some tweaks and changes to her profile, and shortly after that, she managed to get an inquiry which is probably going to be worth around £5 million to her, to build one main house out of logs and some chalets for a business owner in somewhere in the north of Scotland. So Sarah is absolutely delighted. We have a fantastic testimonial from Sarah, and I think it just shows you the power. If you get everything aligned and you get everything tweaked and optimized, then the sky's the limit, essentially, on LinkedIn.
Yeah. I was going to cover that case study because I met Sarah in the masterclass, and
Yes,
she did come and share the story with us. That's one of the another reason why I wanted Steve on the show as well, because I looked at Sarah. I was like, immediately the way she's changed from what she had before, and she got the call from the CEO of a French company or Canadian company, I don't
Canadian,
know,
Canadian, yeah.
Canadian company. There you go. I remember everything but the name. That's one of my downfall. So she said this Canadian company came to us and asked us to build log cabins. Mm, just imagine log cabins are not day to day. Okay, I'll go and just, oh, it's 20 quid or 100 quid. It's not that. It is about millions, and you need to have that trust. If a profile and few tweaks, I'm not saying Sarah is not competent. I'm saying looking at a social media profile and connecting with someone to do
Yeah,
this is phenomenal, because it's not every day you get this type of calls.
no.
So be prepared, change, make those tweaks. It looks like pot calling kettle black. I've got to go and make a few changes on mine, but I'm
Immediately, immediately.
I'm saying that is because I made one change of that masterclass. If that is the result of me getting my profile views going up,
Yes.
and just imagine if I had made all the 6 quick fixes, which Steve generously gave me as my birthday gift, which was about 6 months ago, I would be somewhere today. That's one thing. And the second thing which I liked about is how it is easier. It's not rocket science.
Mhm.
It is easy for me to say, but when you do it, it is not. You can do all of this in about half an hour.
Oh,
Not
absolutely.
not
Absolutely.
even more. So
Yeah. Yeah.
just imagine that half an hour you spent on your business is going to bring more business to you or more visibility to you,
Yeah.
then it is worthwhile, don't you think? And go and look at this.
It's a free platform, Sudha, so why not make the most of it? You know, it's a free
Yes, that's right.
platform. It costs you nothing to be on it, unless you take a premium or Sales Navigator package. If you get one sale from being, by optimizing your profile, then why wouldn't you? You know.
Yeah, that's one thing. And another thing is, if you're a premium member or if you've got a Sales Navigator, I did have Sales Navigator. I didn't use it properly,
Yeah.
so I had to give it up, because it's no point in having something, because I paid in full in the past.
Mhm.
I had to keep it for a year. The whole year was a waste of money.
Mhm.
If only I had known how to increase. That's how I learned a few tricks and tips of how to do LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So if you have that, Steve and Miles, both of them have got a very good online, I think, membership program
Yeah.
where you can. And it's also, there is a new event coming where you wanted me to speak, but you never said anything about it.
The part of the online package is, I mean, the cost per month is less than Premium or Sales Navigator, and the basis of it is that you get all the training. There's a monthly webinar that Miles and I run.
Yeah.
We have a 6 monthly growth day where everybody who's in the
Oh yeah.
LinkedIn Accelerator Club come together. We're actually meeting next week on the 29th, and we've got 3 guest speakers, some fantastic speakers coming along to talk about not just LinkedIn, but business in general. We hopefully will have a podcast shortly, and there's a forum for all the members on there. An add-on to that is, if you're a member of that club, you can have company page training for a discounted rate, or you can have Sales Navigator training for a discounted rate. Sales Navigator is a fantastic tool. Very few people who subscribe to it know how to use it properly, but it's fantastic for segmenting your connections, for putting them into various silos in terms of what other marketing that you want to do. And we go through that whole process of training you up on Sales Navigator as well. So we wanted to come up with an affordable package that almost replaces what you may be paying for LinkedIn subscriptions, to allow you to get yourself to a much higher level in terms of understanding. And then if you wanted to subscribe again to Sales Navigator or Premium, you would be trained up to be able to make the most of it, rather than thinking you were throwing away money every month.
Yeah, that's one thing. Before we go, you asked me, is 20 minutes more? We've done 47 minutes, 40 minutes.
Where does the time go? I hope nobody who's
I
watching has been bored, so good.
I do talk a lot. Before I let you go, I wanted to have a few rapid fire questions. It's like a game.
Right.
It's not going to be very very hard. What is your favorite thing? What is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Get on LinkedIn and use it effectively.
Brilliant. What is your favorite movie ever?
Armageddon, Bruce Willis. I'm a big Bruce Willis fan.
Brilliant. What is your no, I can't ask you this. What's your biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve is people who have spent their time to join LinkedIn as a platform but don't use it correctly.
What is your favorite playlist which you play again and again?
Anything from probably from the time when I was growing up. So I'm a big Queen fan. I love David Bowie, and then probably into the sort of late 70s type stuff. So it'd be around the 70s. I'm 59 these days, so 70s was a great time for me. So anything from that era.
Oh, brilliant. So what is the name of the book you've read that positively shaped your life?
It has to be Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Brilliant. That's a brilliant book.
I read it regularly. I read it. It's just on a loop, Sudha, because you just have to kind of continue to read it over and over again just to get all the points to sink in.
Yeah, that's true. I do. I've read it many times as well. What is your favorite, iPhone or Android?
I'm an iPhone fan and a Steve Jobs fan.
Right answers. If you had one superpower, what would it be?
Sorry, say again.
If you had one superpower, what would that be?
I think it would be to travel back in time.
Ooh. That's interesting.
I'm quite old school in some respects, but I like modern stuff too. But I think I probably missed quite a lot of the time previous to now. I'd like to kind of catch up with that again.
Yeah, and I know the feeling. I really know the feeling. Thank you very much for coming on and sharing your tips and sharing your freebies, which everyone can use. And
thanks, Sudha. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for coming on. Because I've learned quite a lot on in the masterclass, and I've learned today that how I am not good at not implementing the knowledge which I gather.
Every day is a school day. Every day is a school day.
Today, I'm just going to go and change those things and then set myself up for the SSI course. Because someone asked me, I remembered, and I could not give the link. So now I'll be able to give that link to them. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all tomorrow. See you all tomorrow. See you whenever I see you.
Okay, Sudha. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much for joining us. And I will give you those links as promised, and put it on all 3 platforms where this is being streamed, so that you know where to go and get. By all means, go and join Steve's group. It's Experts in Business Club on Facebook, and he's also got a quite good presence on YouTube as well. He's working on that, so he's subscribe to his channel, and go and view in the YouTube, and like and comment there as well. I am growing my own channel as well. So that's all I've got to share with you today. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all on the next live. Tomorrow I might be doing one, just me. You're ending up with me, or next week with an expert. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.